This is God. You must have faith.
Deep in the heart of Saudi Arabia, where the desolate expanses of the desert have long been a cradle of myths and legends, an extraordinary find has emerged. This discovery, made by an unexpected group of atheists who have ventured into the region, is shaking the very foundations of both historical and religious paradigms. Their findings, both mind-boggling and controversial, are igniting debates across the globe. Join us as we dive into this shocking discovery in Saudi Arabia and find out why scientists are now panicking. Revelation in the desert. Saudi Arabia, officially known as the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, is a country in West Asia with a deeply significant religious history, particularly in Islam. When you think of Saudi Arabia, Mecca and Medina, two of the most sacred cities in Islam, are probably the first to come to mind. However, recent studies have introduced a surprising twist. There are intriguing claims that Mount Sinai, a site traditionally linked to Christianity and Judaism, might be located in Saudi Arabia. Mount Sinai holds great religious importance for the Abrahamic faiths, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. It is a revered place where many people from around the world visit to seek spiritual connection, or to follow in the footsteps of Moses. According to biblical stories, Mount Sinai is where Moses received the 10 Commandments from God. These commandments are fundamental to the moral and religious teachings of Judaism and Christianity. The book of Exodus describes how God called Moses to the mountain, where the 10 Commandments were written on stone tablets. Mount Sinai, also known as Jebel Musa, which means Mountain of Moses in Arabic, holds a special place in various religious traditions. For Christians, this mountain is more than just a geographical location. It's a symbol of spiritual aspiration. They see it as a precursor to the heavenly Mount Zion, the divine realm where God resides in splendor with his people. In Jesus' Sermon on the Mount, he encourages his followers to live out the deeper, spiritual meaning of the law, rather than just adhering to its literal text. It's as if he's inviting them to experience a divine connection. Biblical stories further connect Mount Sinai with the transfiguration of Jesus, a profound moment when Jesus revealed his divine nature in the presence of Moses and Elijah. This event underscores the mountain's importance in both Christian and Jewish traditions. For Jews, Mount Sinai is considered the holiest place on earth. They believe it's the site of their unique encounter with God, a place where the spiritual and physical worlds intersect. This belief is central to Judaism, which emphasizes a close connection between the divine and daily life. Jewish tradition also ties Mount Sinai to the story of Abraham's willingness to sacrifice his son, Isaac. This narrative highlights the deep faith and commitment that Jews believe they have to God, reinforcing their dedication to following the commandments and living according to divine teachings. The book of Deuteronomy vividly captures the essence of Moses' role, as he reminds the Israelites of their sacred covenant with God and the importance of adhering to his laws. Mount Sinai is not just a physical location, but a powerful symbol for Jews, embodying their unique identity and their role as the chosen people of God. This mountain is traditionally believed to be located in the Sinai Peninsula, a region steeped in historical and spiritual significance. In addition to its prominence in Judaism, Mount Sinai is also revered in the Quran, which portrays it as the site where God communicated with Moses, presenting him with the Torah. This momentous event underscores the mountain's significance in Islam, highlighting its role as a key spiritual landmark. The Torah's commandments delivered on this mountain are seen as a comprehensive code of ethical conduct, reflecting God's will for humanity. The mountain represents a profound intersection between the divine and human realms. It symbolizes the connection between God and his people and emphasizes the necessity of following his commands. Islamic narratives further celebrate Moses for his unwavering patience and commitment, portraying him as a prophet who faithfully conveyed God's messages to Pharaoh and the Egyptian people. Mount Sinai also embodies God's compassion and forgiveness. Despite the Israelites' transgressions, God chose to forgive them and gave Moses a new set of laws, demonstrating his mercy and commitment to guiding his people. For Christians, Mount Sinai symbolizes the journey of faith, the pursuit of holiness, and the yearning to grow closer to God. The mountain's role in the biblical narrative is seen as a cornerstone in the spiritual journey of believers. Across these three major Abrahamic faiths, Mount Sinai holds immense religious and historical importance. Its exact location remains a topic of debate among scholars and explorers, adding an element of mystery to its already profound significance. The sacred mountain's true location. For centuries, the prevailing belief was that Mount Sinai was situated in Egypt, specifically in the southwestern corner of the country, close to the border with Israel and the Sinai Peninsula. This legendary mountain, deeply sacred in Judaism, rises about 2,285 meters above sea level and is renowned for its spiritual significance. Mount Sinai is famed not only for its religious importance, but also for the rich history it encompasses. One of the most notable religious landmarks on Mount Sinai is St. Catherine's Monastery. Nestled at the foot of the mountain on the Sinai Peninsula, this monastery is one of the oldest in continuous operation. It was constructed in 527 AD by Emperor Justinian I, following requests from Christian hermits who had settled in the region. These monks had been living in the harsh desert environment, seeking a more secure and established place to worship. The monastery's historical significance extends beyond its age. It houses the world's oldest continuously functioning library, with manuscripts and books that span back to the 4th century. Among these texts are some of the earliest Christian writings and ancient Greek manuscripts. The library's collection is invaluable for scholars and historians, offering insights into early Christian theology and ancient languages. Architecturally, the monastery is a marvel of Byzantine design. Its walls and ceilings are adorned with intricate frescoes and mosaics, including an extensive array of religious icons. The monastery's architectural and artistic heritage is proof of early Christian devotion and craftsmanship. One of the most revered parts of St. Catherine's Monastery is the Chapel of the Burning Bush. This chapel is built at the traditional site where Moses is said to have encountered the burning bush from which God spoke to him. For Christians around the world, St. Catherine's Monastery is a deeply meaningful pilgrimage site. Over the centuries, this ancient monastery has seen many changes. During the time of the Fatimid Caliphate, a chapel that once stood there was transformed into a mosque. This mosque was actively used by Muslims until the 13th century, when the Mamluk Sultanate came to power. Today, the mosque is rarely used, reserved only for special occasions. The mosque fell into disrepair during the Ottoman Empire's rule, but was lovingly restored in the early 20th century. The exact location of Mount Sinai, which is closely linked to the monastery, remains a subject of debate. Despite various theories, no one has definitively identified where this sacred mountain is. Over time, many locations across the Middle East have been suggested as the original site of Mount Sinai. Scholars pore over the Bible and other ancient texts, searching for clues about the mountain's true location. Among these theories, one has stirred considerable debate. In 1873, British traveler, explorer, and Bible scholar Charles Baker introduced a revolutionary idea. He proposed that Mount Sinai might be a volcano, an idea he detailed in a pamphlet titled Mount Sinai, a Volcano. Baker pointed to biblical descriptions of the mountain spewing smoke and fire, even though there was no ash. Charles Baker proposed that the mountain he was examining could be the same one Moses followed from Midian in northwest Arabia back to Egypt. His investigation centered on the mountains at the head of the Gulf of Aqaba, particularly focusing on Jabal al-Nur, also known as the Mountain of Light. This mountain is notable for its stark, dramatic appearance and historical significance. Initially, Baker hypothesized that this mountain might be volcanic in origin, a theory that intrigued many due to the common belief that volcanic activity could have influenced ancient geographical descriptions. However, upon visiting the site, Baker found that Jabal al-Nur did not exhibit the typical characteristics of volcanic terrain, such as lava flows or volcanic rock formations. This discovery led him to retract his volcanic theory, a humbling moment that showcased his commitment to scientific accuracy. Despite acknowledging his error regarding the mountain's volcanic nature, Baker continued to explore the site's relevance. He suggested that biblical accounts might have described the mountain during a storm, a theory that added a layer of complexity to the quest for Mount Sinai's true location. This notion aligns with the dramatic descriptions of Mount Sinai in religious texts, where thunder, lightning, and storms played a significant role in the narrative. Baker's work was part of a broader quest that included various other theories. Some researchers supported his ideas, while many others offered alternative locations for Mount Sinai, including sites in Egypt, Jordan, and Israel. The search for Mount Sinai has been a long-standing endeavor, with numerous explorers and scholars proposing different locations based on geological, historical, and scriptural evidence. Unfortunately, Baker's untimely death shortly after his visit to Jabal al-Nur prevented him from further exploring and potentially validating his theories. Ancient scholars' controversial claims. Influential scholars such as Alois Musil and H. Philby supported Charles Baker's groundbreaking theory that Mount Sinai is located in Saudi Arabia. Musil, an Austrian-Czech explorer and geographer, embarked on numerous expeditions across the Arabian Peninsula during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. His extensive travels and observations provided a rich foundation for his theories. Philby, a British intelligence officer and a key figure in Middle Eastern affairs during the 1920s and 1930s, wrote influential books like The Heart of Arabia and Arabian Highlands. His accounts were based on his explorations and interactions with local tribes. Both Musil and Philby identified Jabal al-Manifa, situated near Wadi al-Rab, as the potential location of Mount Sinai. Philby, in particular, made a significant visit to Jabal al-Nur in 1952, where he confirmed its potential identity as Mount Sinai. He observed a historic mosque perched on the summit, which he believed added credibility to its identification. Philby argued that Jabal al-Manifa's geographical features and its proximity to ancient trade routes made it a more convincing candidate compared to other proposed sites in Egypt and Jordan. In 1971, French scholar Jean Koenig introduced the idea that Hala el-Badr, a striking volcanic peak in Saudi Arabia, might be the true Mount Sinai. Koenig's research, detailed in his article Cyanotic Itineraries in Arabian, was informed by his extensive studies of geological formations and ancient texts. He argued that Hala el-Badr's unique geological features and its alignment with ancient descriptions provided compelling evidence for its identification as Mount Sinai. Koenig's work is built on the foundations laid by Baker, Musil, and Philby, offering a more nuanced and comprehensive analysis of the mountain's location, incorporating new archaeological and geographical insights. Even though the argument presented is quite convincing, there's still another, more debated theory to consider. Among the many proposed ideas, one that stands out for its controversy and widespread discussion is that of American researcher Ron Wyatt. Wyatt also believed that the mountain in question was in Saudi Arabia, but he identified a specific location, the Mountain of Almonds, which is northwest of Saudi Arabia near the Jordanian border, just above the Gulf of Aqaba. Wyatt's claims were bolstered by his reported discoveries of other significant historical sites, such as Noah's Ark, Sodom and Gomorrah, the crossing of the Red Sea, and the Ark of the Covenant. He used these findings to support his theory about the location of the mountain. His argument was based on his interpretation of Exodus 3 verses 1. Wyatt reasoned that because Moses took care of Jethro's flocks and Jethro was a priest of Midian, the mountain of God that Moses encountered must have been in Midian's territory. After claiming he had found the site where the Red Sea was crossed at Nuweiba in the Gulf of Aqaba in 1978, Wyatt concluded that the true Mount Sinai must be located east of this crossing point, within the area of what is now western Saudi Arabia. In his assessment, the most likely candidate for the biblical Mount Sinai was Jebel al-Lawz. This mountain stood out as the tallest peak in the entire western Saudi Arabian mountain range. His theory was bolstered by the discovery of archaeological evidence, including a large campsite near the mountain. He believed this site to be where the Israelites camped before their exodus. Wyatt's investigation revealed even more interesting findings. He discovered a large pile of granite rocks about a quarter mile from the mountain's base, decorated with carvings of bulls, cows, and oxen. Wyatt interpreted these carvings as evidence of the great altar of Israel at the base of Mount Sinai, possibly linked to the golden calf story from the Bible. He went further with his interpretations, connecting his discoveries to the biblical account of the Red Sea crossing. Wyatt claimed to have found remnants of Pharaoh's chariots on the seafloor, and he saw the ash-covered mountaintop as a symbol of God's fire. Additionally, he pointed to a massive split rock that seemed to show signs of powerful water flow, 12 stone pillars beneath the mountain, and other significant finds, all contributing to his theory. Ron Wyatt believed that various findings related to the ancient Israelites' stay near a mountain or their exodus were all connected. However, many experts have questioned his theories due to several issues with his methods and evidence. Firstly, Ron Wyatt did not have formal training in archaeology and conducted his research as an amateur. His methods were often rough and lacked the thoroughness expected in scientific research. He did not publish his findings in peer-reviewed journals, which are crucial for verifying and validating research, but instead shared his discoveries based mainly on his personal opinions. Secondly, Wyatt's unorthodox methods caused problems with both secular and religious authorities. His work even led to legal trouble. The Saudi Arabian government arrested and imprisoned him, accusing him of being an Israeli spy because of his unauthorized activities and alleged artifact smuggling. Additionally, some biblical scholars argue that a passage from Galatians 4, verse 25, where Apostle Paul discusses God's covenants with the Galatians, might be misinterpreted to support Wyatt's theories, adding further controversy to his claims. Saudi Arabia's secret past. In the Bible, the Apostle Paul refers to Mount Sinai as being located in Arabia. This term, however, covered a much broader area on first-century Roman maps than we might expect today. Arabia included not only the Arabian Peninsula, but also the Sinai Peninsula and even parts of northern Egypt. This broad definition challenges the common assumption that Mount Sinai was in what is now modern-day Saudi Arabia. Roman maps from Paul's time depicted Arabia as a vast and diverse land. It stretched from the Arabian Peninsula and extended into the regions we now know as Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and parts of Jordan and Iraq. This extensive area was characterized by dramatic shifts in geography, from arid deserts to fertile regions, making it a crucial cultural and economic hub in antiquity. Adding to the interest, recent discoveries in Saudi Arabia have revealed fascinating ancient sites. Among these is a ritualistic site believed to have been used by a prehistoric cult. This site includes intricate rock carvings and ancient structures that offer a glimpse into the religious practices of early desert dwellers. These findings provide valuable insights into the spiritual and cultural life of ancient Arabian societies. Moreover, it might surprise you to learn that the vast desert we see in Saudi Arabia today was once a thriving landscape of lush vegetation and diverse wildlife. This transformation from a verdant environment to a desert is supported by both scientific research and historical records. Geological studies show that the Arabian Peninsula underwent significant climatic changes over millennia. During the Pleistocene epoch, the region experienced wetter conditions, leading to the formation of lakes and fertile grasslands. Historical texts, including the Quran, the holy book of Islam revealed to the Prophet Muhammad in the 7th century CE, also reflect this ancient richness. The Quran contains detailed descriptions of various natural wonders, from the sun and moon to mountains, seas, and vegetation. These descriptions offer a window into how people of that era understood and revered the natural world. The historical importance of Saudi Arabia is deeply rooted in ancient texts, including the Quran, which highlights its unique geography and climate. This land is one of the oldest continuously inhabited regions in the world, mentioned in ancient writings and records dating back thousands of years. Scholars, travelers, and geographers such as Herodotus, often called the father of history, Josephus, a first-century Jewish historian, and Eusebius, an early Christian scholar, all vividly described Saudi Arabia in their works. They portrayed it as a region of lush, green mountains, fertile valleys, flowing rivers, dense forests, and exotic spices, far removed from the arid desert it is known for today. In ancient times, Saudi Arabia was part of a vast trade network that connected the Mediterranean to India, China, and beyond. The incense road, for instance, was a famous ancient trade route that passed through the Arabian Peninsula, carrying precious commodities like frankincense and myrrh, highly prized in the ancient world for religious and medicinal purposes. This extensive trade network made Saudi Arabia a melting pot of cultures, ideas, and innovations, significantly influencing its neighbors and contributing to the development of early human civilizations. Scientific discoveries further illuminate Saudi Arabia's ancient past. Fossils found in the region provide fascinating insights into a time when the Arabian Peninsula had a much greener and wetter climate than today. Fossils of elephants, hippos, and crocodiles, animals typically associated with lush, water-rich environments, suggest that vast savannas, wetlands, and river systems once flourished here. These creatures indicate that the region was not only habitable, but also rich in biodiversity, with ample resources to support a wide variety of life forms. The discovery of seahorse fossils is particularly intriguing, pointing to the existence of shallow coastal waters with vibrant marine ecosystems, perhaps similar to today's coral reefs. Satellite imagery and geological studies have uncovered evidence of ancient lakes, rivers, and lush vegetation, dating back as far as 350,000 years. These studies suggest that Saudi Arabia experienced several periods of increased rainfall, known as the Green Arabia phases, during which it supported large populations of humans, animals, and plants. Some researchers even believe that the Arabian Peninsula may have been a crucial corridor for early human migration out of Africa, as ancient humans sought fertile lands and water sources. Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. In the heart of the Saudi Arabian desert, where the sands stretch endlessly and secrets lie buried beneath, a groundbreaking discovery was unfolding. A group of renegade atheists, known for their controversial theories and unconventional methods, had stumbled upon something so profound that it sent ripples through the scientific community. Deep beneath the arid surface, they unearthed a hidden chamber filled with artifacts unlike anything seen before. Ancient manuscripts, shimmering with unknown symbols, and statues that seemed to pulse with an eerie energy lay scattered amidst the sands. The artifacts appeared to predate any known civilization, suggesting a civilization far more advanced and enigmatic than previously thought. As word of the discovery spread, scientists from around the world descended on the site, their skepticism quickly turning to panic. The atheists' findings posed a challenge to established theories about human history and the origins of religion. The manuscripts hinted at an ancient knowledge that predated all known texts, suggesting that humanity's understanding of its origins was about to be shattered. The scientific community was torn. Some argued that the discovery could rewrite history books and challenge the very foundations of modern science. Others feared it might validate ancient myths or supernatural claims, adding fuel to the debates they had long tried to distance themselves from. In a frantic race against time, scientists scrambled to decode the symbols and understand the implications of the artifacts. What ancient truths could these enigmatic manuscripts reveal about human civilization's beginnings? Let us have your opinions in the comment below. Ancient treasure hunt. The discoveries in Saudi Arabia reveal a remarkable variety of plant fossils found in areas like Tema, Dumat al-Jandal, and Jizan, each offering a unique glimpse into the region's ancient ecosystems. These fossils, ranging from delicate ferns and cycads to palms, grasses, legumes, and various flowering plants, provide a timeline that stretches across multiple geological eras. From the ancient forests of the Permian and Triassic periods, which date back over 250 million years, to the lush environments of the Jurassic and Cretaceous periods, when dinosaurs roamed the Earth, and into the more recent Paleogene, Neogene, and Quaternary periods. These fossils show a dynamic landscape that has undergone significant changes. This mosaic of plant life reveals how the region's climate, geography, and ecosystems have evolved over hundreds of millions of years, reflecting shifts from ancient rainforests to drier savannas and arid deserts. Equally fascinating are the human fossils found across Saudi Arabia, adding another layer to the country's rich and ancient history. Sites like Kalam, Al-Maidan, Al-Ula, and Al-Thukba have have yielded a wealth of human remains, including bones and artifacts dating back tens of thousands of years. These remarkable findings encompass a diverse range of artifacts, including stone tools, pottery, inscriptions, petroglyphs, architectural remnants, and human bones, each representing different chapters in human history. These items date back to multiple prehistoric periods, such as the Lower Paleolithic era, when early humans first began using basic stone tools. The Middle Paleolithic, marked by the development of more sophisticated tools and the emergence of symbolic thought. The Upper Paleolithic, known for its explosion of creativity and the appearance of cave art. The Epipaleolithic, when humans began transitioning from hunting and gathering to more settled ways of life. And the Neolithic period, which saw the advent of agriculture and the rise of permanent human settlements. In a fascinating twist, scientists have also uncovered coral reefs and seagrass beds along Saudi Arabia's coastlines. These marine ecosystems are critical indicators of environmental conditions, pointing to a time when the waters were warm, clear, and rich in nutrients, supporting a vibrant array of marine life. Coral reefs, often referred to as the rainforests of the sea, provide essential habitats for countless marine species, while seagrass beds serve as nurseries for fish and feeding grounds for endangered sea turtles and dugongs. The discovery of these ancient underwater ecosystems suggests that the region's marine biodiversity may have been far richer in the past than it is today. These discoveries, which span millions of years, contribute to a compelling narrative of the region's dynamic history and its capacity for surprising revelations. Adding to the interest, archaeologists have also unearthed a network of ancient roads and tombs dating back approximately 4,500 years. These roads, referred to as funerary avenues, stretch across the arid northwest desert regions of Saudi Arabia, connecting a series of oases and pastures. Some of these avenues extend for hundreds, even thousands of kilometers, carefully following the natural contours of the land and water sources. The secrets of ancient Arabian rituals. These ancient avenues are paired with remarkable tombs known as pendants, or ring burials. The pendants are unique circular stone structures, often with elongated tails extending outwards, forming a perpendicular alignment to the avenue. In contrast, ring burials are circular stone cairns, enclosed by low stone walls. Typically, these tombs stand about 2 meters high and measure around 20 meters in diameter. They contain not only human remains, but also an array of grave goods such as pottery, tools, and ornaments, offering a glimpse into the lives and practices of those who constructed them. The discovery of these funerary avenues and tombs is credited to researchers from the University of Western Australia. Their innovative approach combined aerial surveys with ground inspections, satellite imagery, and detailed excavations. Radiocarbon dating of around 80 of these tombs has revealed that they date back approximately 4,500 years, specifically between 2,600 and 2000 BC. This places them in the late Neolithic period, a time marked by significant developments in agriculture and settlement. The construction of these tombs is believed to have been carried out by nomadic tribes who adapted their movements based on seasonal changes in rainfall and vegetation. These tribes would have navigated the arid landscape, creating these monumental structures as part of their complex social and spiritual practices. In a dramatic development, Saudi Arabian archaeologists have unearthed a startling discovery. They have found ancient human remains within a 7,000-year-old desert monument. This site, believed to have been used by a prehistoric cult, features elaborate ritualistic structures and artifacts that provide insight into the religious and ceremonial practices of the time. The remains of an adult male in his 30s were found in a structure called a mustatil, which gets its name from the Arabic word for rectangle. Since the 1970s, over 1,600 similar mustatils have been discovered in Saudi Arabia. These ancient structures, buried under layers of sand, were built during a time when the Arabian desert was covered with lush grasslands, home to elephants and even hippos in its lakes. The builders of these mustatils were likely part of a mysterious cult. As the climate changed and turned the region into the desert we know today, these people probably gathered to protect their land. They believed in sacrificing cattle to unknown deities as part of their protection strategy. A recent excavation of a mustatil, reported in a study from March, has provided new insights into these intriguing structures and the rituals of their ancient builders. This particular mustatil, located 34 miles east of the ancient city of Alula, measures 460 feet long and is made from local sandstone. At the heart of the site stands a large, upright stone known as the beetle, encircled by a collection of 260 animal skulls and horn fragments. Most of these bones come from domesticated cattle, but there are also some remains from goats, gazelles, and small ruminants. Nearby, adjacent to the mustatil's head, is a cist, a type of burial chamber commonly found in Neolithic and Bronze Age sites throughout Europe and the Middle East. When scientists examined the bones of the man buried here, they discovered he was likely in his 30s or early 40s at the time of his death. He showed signs of osteoarthritis, a degenerative joint disease that was quite common. Radiocarbon dating of the bones from both the man and the animals revealed that the man was buried 400 years after the animals were slaughtered. This suggests that the mustatils were used for repeated pilgrimages, underlining their lasting importance and the significant role they played in the lives of the people who built them. What are your thoughts about this shocking discovery in Saudi Arabia by atheists? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section below.